Y'all don't even understand how big and deep and complex this documentary is going to be, and how quickly NaziTube is probably going to snatch it up if it even is allowed to premiere at all. This is like 6 or 7 documentaries in one. We're diving in. Oh man, you don't even have a clue, alright? You don't even have a clue. It may not seem like it's that big of a deal in the beginning, but towards the end, it gets scarier and scarier. And I mean, there are some really scary parts in the beginning, don't get me wrong, but there are some times where I felt like I was going to throw up or cry. It was so sickening. Not just the pictures, but the audio, the testimony from the victims, and so much more. I got court documents. I mean, I have dug up. No, Jesus Christ dug up the dirt for me, okay? It was all through Jesus Christ. I'm just a willing vessel. I'm not trying to gloat, but I'm just saying. I dug it up, man, big time. Oh my gosh. Like, I just know it was God because of the way I came across things and how God would put things on my mind. It was just weird. Anyway, but y'all, you've got to make sure you're subscribed to all channels, that you're a part of the Locals membership. If you want a free membership, email me at arsondarksy@gmail.com and I will give you a free membership, a free month membership, whatever. But keep a close eye on the channels, and as soon as it premieres, watch it as it premieres, because they might delete it while it's premiering. They might delete it the second it's done premiering. I don't know how long it's going to be allowed online, okay? But I know it's not going to be on there forever, that's for sure. This documentary, man, I learned a lot. A lot. I mean, I learned like 2 lifetimes worth of stuff. It will blow your mind. And I'm going to add links because I had to cut out a lot of information. There's a lot of stuff I couldn't put in there. Not just historical stuff, but disturbing stuff as well. Uncensored pictures that I don't recommend anyone to look at, but I think it's important that we have the truth out there because they're trying to wipe this stuff off the internet. It was nearly impossible for me to find certain things because they don't want people to know the truth. And a lot of people, like myself, a lot of us need to see certain things. I'm not saying I needed to see the pictures. I didn't count on seeing those pictures, but I'm just saying a lot of people are very skeptical and they want to see it for themselves. So anyway, I'm going to have all the links to the court documents, the historical stuff, the videos, a lot of helpful channels out there, a lot of channels that hardly have any subscribers that have excellent information. I mean, great clips, great historical stuff that you know they're going to want to wipe off, that I suggest we all try to download, try to find, because I'm going to have the links to pretty much all of the clips that are in the documentary. And I highly suggest downloading those full clips because, again, I had to like cut out a lot of sections from these documentaries. So what's in my documentary, for the most part, isn't going to be like the full video. So click the link in the description, or if NaziTube won't let you click the link because they have, they want to censor things and they won't let you have external links unless you verify yourself, give them your ID or driver's license, whatever. It's ridiculous. If you can't get the external links, go to the end of my documentary. I'm going to put the links written out completely in the credits. That is my way. That's my loophole. I'm going to put it in the credits. So if you're like, hey, I really want to see this full clip, this looks really good, well, you just go to the end of my documentary, look at the credits, and you'll have to manually type in the link, but at least you'll have the link and you can find the video, hopefully, and download it. If you don't wait too long and, before all this stuff probably gets erased, because stuff is getting erased every day around here. I'll make playlists because I've got tons of playlists that help me out to organize my clips and stuff for what I'm working on. And I'll make a playlist, and sometimes I'll make a playlist and the whole playlist gets wiped out. I've got some playlists that are completely blank and all I've got is the title there because NaziTube deleted everything. I'm like, man, I wish I had the money for endless memory cards, or I could buy like those really big terabyte, or if you can get like multiple terabyte memory cards, and I could just download all the so-called conspiracy theory videos off NaziTube and just have all those clips, because they are wiping it out. So yeah, my community posts are being censored big time. So please keep an eye out on the Pryless Chicks channel and the Arson Darksea channel. In the past, a few years back, and by a few years I only mean like 2 years ago, give or take, when NaziTube employees would know, because they have got, or at least they used to have, an employee assigned to me. I really believe that 100%. People don't believe me. They say, oh no, it's just automated. No, it was a person. They've got them on my tail, and I don't care how paranoid I sound. But anyway, they had one of these NaziTube witch employees. Every time they would know that I would have something coming out soon, like for instance, if I made a community post and I said, hey, I just finished a documentary, I'm going to upload it now, or I'm going to upload it tonight, and I'm going to be premiering this weekend. Well, then the NaziTube employee would read that, and then they would go onto my page, or they'd go onto Pryless Chicks, the shared channel, and they would scroll down to something I posted like 1, 2, 3 years prior, and they would give me a strike for that, so that I would not be able to premiere whatever I had finished and I was promoting on my community post. I would not be able to premiere it that weekend. And they did that to me multiple times, and I had a cow, and so I had to find ways around it. It was such a hassle, and I mean, when you're shadow banned and hardly anyone even remembers you exist, it's hard to try to be sneaky and be like, hey guys, guess what? I'm going to be premiering, but I gotta tell you on like a different channel somewhere, or I gotta mention it at the end of another video, or, do something sneaky that hardly anyone's going to even see. It's just, and they do that on purpose. It's all on purpose, of course. They want to whittle away at any of my viewers. They don't want the truth out. So I'm trying to promote this documentary with everything in me. I'm going to talk about it a lot over the next week or two, because this is big. And I know they don't want it out. Satan has done so much. I don't even want to talk about the stuff Satan has done to try to prevent this documentary from seeing the light of day. But by the grace and power of God Almighty, Jesus Christ, I'm doing it, man. I'm doing it. I'm almost done. I tried not to say too much until I was really sure, because I didn't want to do a lot of promoting and then have an issue and be like, oh no, it's going to be a while. It's going to be too long before I can finish it. I wanted to make sure I had everything set up, and I was like 80% done or something, and I'm finishing up on the second to last chapter. There's going to be 4 main chapters in the documentary. I'm finishing up the 3rd about witches and proving that witches are real. And then the 4th is going to probably be the most disturbing. I mean, the whole thing's really disturbing. It's hard to say, but the 4th one, it's just very graphic. I censored the best I could, but it's painful. But it is necessary. Okay? Like God told Elijah to go and see what these creeps are up to, paraphrasing. We got to see what these creeps are up to. Maybe, put our hands over our eyes a little bit, but we got to look. We got to hear. We got to know. We've got to be wise as serpents, innocent as doves, and we've got to expose the devil. Quit being so, grabbing your pearls and gasping and being so easily offended. What do you think these children are going through? What do you think these animals are going through? What do you think is going on in the spiritual realm? Can you imagine the demons being loosed? Can you imagine the gravity of the situation, and you're trying to protect your feelings? I know the Bible says to, be careful what you see, careful what you hear, so on and so forth. But, that sounds like it's more in the context of, don't be trying to enjoy stuff that is of the devil. Don't be sitting there listening to some nasty worldly music and getting a thrill out of that and getting programmed by that. Don't be sitting back and watching nasty movies and enjoying that in an alpha state of mind or whatever. That's the way I take it, because it wouldn't make sense. God doesn't contradict himself. Why would he tell us to expose the devil, to expose what the enemy is doing, to be wise as serpents, to go and see what they're doing, but also, no, don't look, right? So I'm trying to find a balanced middle ground where I'm going to censor things as heavily as I can while not taking away from the truth, not taking away from the impact of what Satan is doing and what's going on here. Okay? How dare I, or anybody, how dare you, try to take away from these victims' testimonies? I'm not going to shut them up any more than they've already been shut up, because they've been shut up enough. This one dude's testimony, this dude was killed. He was killed, murdered for this. Okay? So I'm going to say it, and I don't care who's offended. If you are so squeamish, and you think your feelings matter more than this, than knowing the truth and telling other people, because guess what? As painful as it is for you to hear, then you have that information stored in your mind, that information that will be scrubbed away from the internet, that information that will not be accessible for long. It may not be here next month. And you now have that information stored in your mind where it cannot be touched by the enemy. And you can go relay that to others. Other people who may not be as squeamish. Other people who may think this is more serious than you do. Information that they need to know. Most people don't think witchcraft is real. Most people don't think trafficking is real, or that it is the way that it is, that these people talk through these signs and these symbols, that these highfalutin Luciferians are trafficking the youth, that they're putting symbols and they're programming your youth, your children, to be sexually attracted to one another as well as adults and animals. That these people aren't meeting up in soundproof rooms and doing unspeakable acts that we will discuss in this documentary. When it comes to this documentary, I've had to be incredibly cautious in how I have chose to upload things, because I'm trying not to run too much through NaziTube, and I'm trying to be very cautious with what I do run through, because I do have to run a lot of things through NaziTube system to be able to successfully create this documentary, because I need to run information through mainly to ensure that nothing is going to be copyrighted to the extent that it will be blocked in America. It's bad enough when they block it in other countries, but I definitely don't want America and, America #1. Canada as well would be nice. The UK, that'd be great too. If the first world countries could have access, but I know most of my viewers, at least from my knowledge and what I'm being fed and what I'm being told, is most of my viewers are in America. So I don't mean anything against anyone else. It's not like I don't like you if you're a foreigner. But it's just, most of my viewers are in America. So I have to run things through, make sure certain things aren't copyrighted, but I'm trying to make sure that I don't run too much through to where it causes issues, and I have to make sure it's not on the Prideless Chicks channel just in case they do want to strike me, because I am on high alert for that. I know that they are ready and waiting to strike Prideless Chicks at any moment, because this documentary is coming out, and Prideless Chicks is the channel that I post the big projects on, because number one, it's the largest channel, it's the oldest channel, it's the first NaziTube channel I've ever made. I had it since I was 13, 14 with my friend, and it's the channel I've decided to post my big projects on. Prideless Chicks is the higher quality, larger, bigger, more Hollywood style stuff. Arson Darksea is just a mixture of whatever, more like get to know me and my personality, and I'm gonna talk about whatever I want to talk about. I might rant and rave, I might tell you something really important, but I mean, I'm not gonna talk about nothing. Yeah, I always talk about something that matters, just some people may think certain things matter more or less to them. You know, like sometimes I'll post something about video games. It's a big deal to me. People are like, I don't care, but I post it on Arson Darksea because that's my personal interest. Pryless Chicks is bigger picture stuff, higher quality, more polished, and it's, the shared channel. Anyway, love y'all. Bye.